Let's get straight to the news that just came out. Here you'll always find the most up-to-date information about the Detroit Lions, which is why this is the right channel for you to stay well informed every day. We're going to talk about an elite level player who could wear the blue and silver jersey. But before we dive into all the details of this news, like the video, because that really strengthens our work. And if you've just arrived at the channel, don't waste any time. Subscribe and come be a part of our community. Let's go. The Detroit Lions defensive line went through serious turmoil last season. Injuries spread like wildfire, and the edge rusher position was one of the hardest hit. The expectation for 2024 is to see the return of crucial names like Aiden Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport. But let's be honest, when it comes to health in American football, there are no guarantees. And that's exactly why the idea of re-signing a familiar and extremely competent name is starting to sound like a smart move. We're talking about Za'Darius Smith, a veteran who already knows the environment, has already proven himself useful when the going got tough, and could be the right piece to reinforce his unit that still walks a fine line between promising and worrying. Za'Darius Smith arrived in Detroit via a trade with the Cleveland Browns, which involved only late draft picks. In other words, a low-risk move. And even without astronomical numbers, he delivered what was expected: presence, aggressiveness, and impact. He had 12 tackles, 4 sacks, and 10 pressures on the opposing quarterback in just 7 games. In a defense that desperately needed someone to maintain consistency on the sidelines, he showed up. And now, even after being released by the Lions in March, a move taken to free up around $11 million in salary cap space, the possibility of his return is gaining momentum again. According to ESPN's Matt Bowen, Detroit is still the ideal destination for the veteran pass rusher. Lions general manager Brad Holmes himself has been outspoken about this. The team did not want to part with Smith. It was purely a financial decision, and despite his departure, contact with the player's agent has continued. This shows that the doors are open, and that perhaps the idea was always to get the house in order before trying to reach a new deal. The arrival of a new defensive coordinator, Kelvin Shepard, and defensive line coach Casey Rogers could also favor this return. Smith, who already knows the system, could be an immediate asset while tactical adjustments are made behind the scenes, and that especially at the beginning of the season could make all the difference. And let's be honest, the only edge rusher added in the draft was Ahmed Hassanein, a 6th round pick who was more focused on long-term development than immediate impact. This puts even more weight on the need to have an experienced name ready to contribute from the opening snap of week 1. Smith can play both outside and inside the line, lining up with versatility in different formations, which would give Shepard a respectable tactical weapon. Detroit already has young talent, yes, but the balance between youth and experience is what separates the good teams from the ones that contend for the Super Bowl. Smith, with 3 Pro Bowls under his belt, could be that anchor. So in a scenario where the Lions are clearly looking to solidify a competitive roster ready to take the next step, reopening talks with Za'Darius Smith seems not only logical, but almost necessary. He's already proven his worth on the field, is respected in the locker room, and above all, understands what it's like to wear the Lions jersey when everything is on the line. With the start of OTAs approaching, the time to act is now. Because at the end of the day, the NFL waits for no one, and the right move at the right time could be the difference between an average season and a historic one. Brad Holmes is specializing in something few NFL general managers can do consistently: finding diamonds in the rough in the middle and late rounds of the draft. And that's exactly what he did with safeties Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, who now form one of the most versatile and dominant duos in the entire league. They're young, explosive, intelligent, and adaptable to any game situation. A real nightmare for opposing offenses. But even with 2 talents of this caliber, the safety position still needs something fundamental for any team dreaming of the Super Bowl: depth. And that's exactly where a potential masterstroke in the free agent market comes in. According to Logan Ulrich of NFL Rumors, the Lions are eyeing none other than Marcus Williams, a veteran heavyweight who could be the ideal reinforcement to add more security to Detroit's backfield. Williams didn't have his best moment in 2024, Playing for the Ravens, he played in just 11 games and had statistically the worst season of his career. His completion rate was alarming, 82.4%. And what about the quarterback rating when they threw in his area? A perfect and scary 158.3. It's no wonder he lost his starting spot to Za'Darius Washington back in October, which paved the way for his release before free agency even began. But here's the key point that could turn this potential addition into a big move. Even though he's down, Williams is still a clear improvement over the options the Lions currently have in the rotation. He wouldn't be coming in to take Joseph or Branch's place, far from it, but rather to fill a key space as a replacement with experience and leadership skills. If the Lions do decide to bring in Marcus Williams, the immediate impact will be felt not only in the technical quality of the area, but also in the tactical freedom it offers. With another reliable name in the rotation, Aaron Glenn can move Brian Branch more boldly, using his versatility to explore the best of his game, whether covering the slot, pressuring the quarterback, or playing deeper as a true free safety. And even though Williams is no longer in the prime of his career, we are talking about a player who has started 106 games since arriving in the NFL in 2017. This experience counts a lot in decisive moments, especially when it comes to playoffs and high-risk situations. The presence of a veteran like him could be what Detroit needs to finally consolidate its defense as one of the best in the conference. And here's the most attractive detail of all this movement: the cost. Williams is coming off a bad season and has a recent history of injuries. He has not played more than 11 games in a season since 2021. This means that his market value is considerably lower, which represents a valuable opportunity for the Lions. According to Over the Cap, the franchise still has approximately $42 million in salary cap space. In other words, bringing in Williams for an affordable contract is perfectly feasible. And not just feasible, it's strategic. In an NFL where the passing game dominates, having depth in the secondary is no longer a luxury. It's become a necessity. With Marcus Williams on the roster, Detroit becomes stronger, more prepared for unforeseen situations, and most importantly, more competitive to face the league's offensive powerhouses. Want to see this Lions defense reach new heights? This signing could be the next step. And if Brad Holmes continues his history of making sure bets, it wouldn't be a surprise to see Marcus Williams silence his critics and be reborn in style at Ford Field. Stay tuned, fans, because the next moves could define the course of the season. And now I want to know your opinion, Lions fans. Do you think it's worth investing in Marcus Williams, even after the worst season of his career? Can he rediscover his good football skills in Detroit and become an important player coming off the bench? Or would it be better to bet on another name on the market, or even develop someone from the current roster? Now it's up to you. Leave a comment below and let us know what you would do if you were in Brad Holmes' shoes. Would you hire Williams, or would you pass on this one? And if you liked the video, leave a like. It really helps the channel and shows YouTube that you want to see more content like this about our Lions. We're in this together, and see you in the next video.